cinema matinee. I ain't got $7.50 to pay.
Everybody now.
Your name's Percy.
Yeah.
Your father better be a god. You know,
Oh,
it's
really?
like,
Okay. Name like Percy Jackson. I thought this was like a blaxploitation movie. When Zeus's light bulb gets stolen, Percy Jackson's on the scene. Give me back my goddamn lightning.
now this is based on a series of books written by a guy named Rick Riordan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much Harry Potter Rick Riordan was reading, but instead of a kid who goes to a wizard's world, I mean, we got a kid in this movie who goes to a summer camp for demigods.
Yeah. and that summer camp just happens to be Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
When you see it in the movie.
The story itself deals with Percy Jackson, who he soon learns that he's a demigod. And you know what a demigod is, it just means that some god came down from Mount Olympus and got freaky with your mom, your
Right.
human mom, you know.
Yeah, there's some horny guys up there.
Now in Percy's case, his father is Poseidon, who is the god of all the seas.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's not Aquaman.
Wait, I was about to say, I thought it was
Or
Aquaman.
Merman.
In this movie, Poseidon is played by Kevin McKidd, and Zeus comes down, who's played by Sean Bean, comes down Poseidon and says, "Hey, look, man, your little thieving ass son has taken my lightning bolt. I don't care how you get it back, but you get it back, or else we're gonna have a war."
Yeah.
On top of that, Hades, the Lord of the Underworld, which is pretty much hell, has kidnapped Percy's mother, and because he wants the lightning bolt for himself, also for his own devious reasons. Of
course.
So now Percy has to deal with the fact that he has just been informed he's a demigod, learned that his mother's been kidnapped, has to figure out a way to get her back, figure out who this asshole is that stole this lightning bolt, and has learned that his father's a deadbeat dad. So
Yeah.
so a lot of stuff to
That
process at
sucks.
one time.
Yeah.
Like when we figure out Percy has just learned that he's a demigod, I mean, we should have this sense of awe and wonder, and Percy should have the same thing. But this movie is so preoccupied with trying to be hip, trying to move so fast that Percy just kind of falls into it like, oh, hey, yeah, this is cool. The acting in this is terrible. I'm not going to even say it's because of the actors. I think the actors are fine. I've seen a lot of good actors in this. Uma Thurman, who plays Medusa.
She's awful.
Yeah, she is terrible in this.
Yeah.
They got a satyr in here
Yeah.
named Grover. I mean, what you going to have a centaur named Elmo next? You know?
Elmo's a horsey. Elmo solved this mystery.
I do hate that, you know, they've taken a character who is white in the books and changed him into a routine black sidekick. All the main characters are very heroic and very charismatic.
Yeah.
And they got this fool sitting around making jokes and eating tin cans.
Yeah.
The movie seems cheap except for when there's a cool special effect on screen, because some of the special effects were cool. There's a scene with the Minotaur, then they fight the Hydra. And those scenes I thought were pretty incredible.
I had a big problem with the Medusa scene because only there were times where you had to deal with Uma Thurman redoing every goddamn role she's ever done, which is the Avengers and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
I'm getting introduced to a lot of these mythical characters, but I don't care. I wasn't buying these characters. I really didn't feel the camaraderie between them at all. It seemed more forced, especially the relationship with Percy and
Annabeth.
Yeah, Annabeth.
Plot holes in the film. They turn giant creatures into stone in the middle of public buildings.
Right.
The next day, when they find that, the janitor finds that. What are they gonna do? You know, how are they gonna explain that? I'd be just as good as watching it at home on my big screen television for a rental, and because really, I could turn my head away at any time and not miss a bit of story.
I have to say I have to give it a rental. If they do continue to make these sequels, hopefully they'll bring in another director who will add more substance to these characters to actually make me care about them and their issues with their gods who are fathers, because I thought that was probably the most interesting part about the film for me. But then again, I'm like, you're a demigod. What the are you crying about? You got pretty goddamn good.
I mean, if you can't get laid by telling somebody you're a demigod, then I don't know what's wrong with
what
you.
the your problem is. You need to change that shirt.
Everybody was told to overact in this movie, and the only people that could really handle it were Steve Coogan.
Welcome.
You're Hades?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't expect you to look like this, man. Kind of stylish. I like it.
Would you prefer that I looked like this?
Let's stick to the Mick Jagger thing.
And I like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Now, and they don't show you in the trailer, but Pierce Brosnan is like this big, strapping, bucking centaur, because the movie starts out in a wheelchair.
All I think about is he looks like Mr. Ed as 007.
Can't you see him walking up to this fine-ass chick? Yes, baby, shaken, not stirred.
Yeah.
Sorry.